Hi, Richard Silk here with tips and advice about life and relationships told through stories. Today I want to talk about a family with some drinking problems in it. And this woman talked to me. She's got two little kids, a husband she really loves, and a couple times a year he comes home really drunk. And so she said that the last time that this happened, that she was so angry that she felt like she could have killed him. And so that was obviously a pretty strong emotion. Obviously, she wasn't going to do that, but that's how she was feeling. It came up that strong with her, and she was just not able to deal with it and relate to him. And things were just seething around the house for days and actually weeks as a result of it. So we talked about it, and she got to this story from her childhood, where she grew up in a family with alcoholism. Her father was an alcoholic, and her mother definitely had some drinking issues. And there was one time when she, as a kid, she was so upset about it, she just went to her mother, because she felt like she couldn't talk to her father, to bring it up and say, "What are we going to do? What about Dad? What's going on?" And her mother said to her, "You cannot talk about that ever." And that's what she was left with. It obviously made a deep impression on her. And fast forward 25 years or so, and she's not able to relate to her husband about it. So I just talked to her and I said, "Hey, you've got two small children here. You have to really take that into account and help that bring you beyond your being negatively upset and reactive, and to be able to work this out with him." So I described to her some steps that she could talk to him about it. I said, first you got to tell him that you love him, because she really does. When she's not feeling, that moment she says she want to kill him. She loves him. She wants the relationship to work out. But this thing about drinking, they really need to talk about. And she needs to, just say up front, "Hey, please forgive me if I start to get, really out of balance or whatever," because, and she can tell her that story about her past and how intense that was for her. And then once they've done that, and the next step is, okay, hey, we've got kids here. Practically, it just doesn't work for the kids to bring drunkenness into the home like that. And then what are the talk it through, what are the agreements you can make about it? And then the last thing being that since it's a real issue with him, since it does come up over time and he is not able to deal with drinking when he does it, that it's necessary for him to get a counselor about it, but because that's not something that's going to work for the two of them to talk about in the detail that perhaps he does, and she just gets too upset about it. So maybe that's an option they need to do. So she was happy about that, and she went off and talked to him and made that kind of approach to him. And again, putting the kids in first place there. And the conversation went really well. And interestingly to me, they made an agreement if he's out and he's drinking, and he just does it with some men friends who she, trusts that situation, that he'll have it prearranged that he'll stay in a motel overnight and not, and have a rental car and not come home that evening and not being around the kids when he's drunk. And they were both happy with that, creative kind of situation, but all based on the fact that she was able to approach him, talk about her relationship first, and find a way, step by step, into the conversation. So that kind of approach can be applied, obviously, to all kinds of circumstances of difficulties between couples. Okay, that's the tip for today, and I hope you find that useful in your life in some way, shape, or form.